Everybody loves Winnie the Pooh. With his yellow fur, red shirt, and goofy smile, he has captivated audiences around the world. But if you are well versed in the Winnie the Pooh lore, you'll know that he never actually wore a shirt in his debut book by A. Milne. In fact, it's somewhat vague how Pooh should be depicted, except for the fact that he is a stuffed bear and that he likes honey. The illustrations in the book done by E.H. Shepard aren't even colored in, so who's to say that this has to be Winnie the Pooh? Here's another fun fact. Did you know that Winnie the Pooh has lived a double life in the Soviet Union? That's right. Winnie the Pooh was popular in his home country of Great Britain when his book released in 1926, and became even more popular in America when Walt Disney produced the first Winnie the Pooh short in 1966. But he was also popular amongst the little comrades in the USSR when he was adapted for film in 1969, just as he was in America. The Russian version of Winnie the Pooh is actually quite a curious topic. In the early Soviet Union, there wasn't much of a children's animation industry, as most of the studios got bombed in the invasion from Germany. A state animation company, Soyuzmultfilm, survived this catastrophe by relocating to the Uzbek SSR and became the de facto Soviet animation studio, and survived by producing propaganda for the war. They started out following Disney's formula for producing children's animation, and even adopted their iconic cell technique. In the late 1960s, a man named Fyodor Chytruk led the efforts for translating the Pooh onto the big screen in the USSR. He never actually saw the Disney film that had released just 3 years prior, and instead used the original Milne book and a translation by Boris Zakhodyr as reference material. The result was a trilogy of shorts called Winnie the Pooh, which was indeed a quality adaptation of Milne's work.
Давным-давно, кажется, в прошлую пятницу, жил в одной стране медвежонок под именем Винни-Пух.
There are, however, many important differences between the British, American, and Russian versions of Pooh. For starters, the main character in the book and Disney version,
Christopher Robin,
never actually made it into the Soviet version. You heard me right. They removed Christopher Robin, the main character. In an interview with director Chytruk, he says, "The first thing we did was take Robin out. We distributed all of his remarks among other heroes, and we did the right thing because he only emphasized that there was a person and that the animals are toys. And for us, it was a single world, the world of Winnie the Pooh." So they effectively removed him because his status as a human made him unequal? Perhaps that gets a check on the Russian bingo board. Anyways, the story still works out fine because Piglet takes Robin's roles. Compare these two scenes, for example, in which Winnie tries to fool some bees into thinking that he is a rain cloud.
Oh, well, I think it would help with this deception if you would just kind of open your umbrella and say, "Tut tut, it looks like rain."
Tut tut, it looks like rain. Tut tut, it looks like rain.
Пятачок, кажется, они не верят, что я черная тучка.
А что делать?
Открывай зонтик и ходи взад-вперед. Я буду петь Тучкину песню, а ты смотри на меня и говори. Кажется, дождь собирается.
Ага. Дождь собирается. Кажется, дождь собирается. Кажется, дождь собирается.
These scenes work because the relationship dynamics between the two main characters is translated very closely in both adaptations, and both follow the original story pretty closely. Also, did you know that Winnie Pooh is a poet?
Кроме того, он был поэт и в свободное время сочинял стихи и даже песенки, приблизительно такие.
Пам-парам-пурум, запилки, пум-пурум, тарам, вопилки, пум-пум-пум-пум.
I guess we'll have to mark Pushkin off the bingo board, since Russians love their poetry. In fact, Chytruk even quotes Pushkin in one of the interviews that I used as a reference for this project. And, the next big difference between the adaptations is pretty obvious. The Soyuzmultfilm version is in Russian, whereas the Disney and original Milne versions are in English. And I guess it's another mark off the bingo board. And we got a bingo. Anyways, it's actually pretty hard to translate Milne's phrasing and humor, He has a very certain literary style. Getruk tried to preserve Milne's writing even across the language barrier. He said, "I'm afraid to approach my dream of adapting Milne's novel, precisely because every line in the book was dear to me." Faithfulness to the source material was indeed very important, and it shows in the film. Look at this scene.
Это же неспроста. Само дерево жужжать не может. Значит, кто-то тут жужжит? А зачем тебе жужжать, если ты не пчела? По-моему, так. А зачем на свете пчелы? Для того, чтобы делать мед. По-моему, так. А зачем на свете мед? Для того, чтобы я его ел. По-моему, так.
And here it is in the Disney version.
That buzzing noise means something. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. And the only reason for being a bee is to make honey. And the only reason for making honey is so I can eat it.
And so,
The Soyuzmultfilm adaptation of Winnie the Pooh can be described in 3 select words: faithful, Russian, and excellent. Well, I hope you've learned something new about Winnie the Pooh and his double life in the Soviet Union. Thanks for watching.